And Mason, really appreciate you tuning in and joining us tonight and having a little conversation as we, signing day gets closer. I wanted to start off, tell me about your senior season. I was just looking over DeMatha's season. Obviously, lost a pretty tough, ugly game there at the end to Good Counsel. But overall, we'll talk about that game in a second. But overall, how did you feel like your senior season went?
It was a good season, a quick season, very fast season. Didn't have any bye weeks until the very last week of the regular season. So, but not satisfied with how it ended, but it was a good season nonetheless.
Yeah, I was just looking, that last Good Counsel game, that was the championship game, right? The conference championship game.
Yeah.
Um, and it was 7-0. What was it? Just a like miserable weather day? Set the scene for us. What was it like in that game?
Yeah. So the best way I could picture it is like we were playing in Navy Stadium over in Annapolis, and it was raining all day. Like I'm talking, we had like three or four three to 4 inches of rain, and it was just puddles all over the field. And I guess that field doesn't drain too well because we were slipping all over the place. The snaps were bad. It was just hard to see, hard to communicate. All the rain. It was cold. It was very cold. It was unreal. It was colder than it was last year. But you know, uh, just I think it was the weather that got us. We just weren't really ready because we haven't really practiced in the rain like that
Hmm.
all year. So we just weren't ready to play in conditions like that.
That's it's tough to play like that, no matter even if you practiced in it. On the offensive line, I mean, were you guys having trouble? I mean, was it tough to get your footing? Was it tough to establish the line of scrimmage in that kind of
Uh,
condition?
a little bit. I'm gonna say in the past game, kicking was a little hard. Kind of keep trying to keep my balance, not slip and fall. But run blocking really wasn't that hard. So given the rain on the turf, but
Right.
um, it wasn't super difficult, but it was difficult and more difficult than usual.
Sure. And that was a loss to Good Counsel, of course, which I don't think. I mean, you don't want to lose any games, but losing to them in
Yeah,
particular is a rough one. And that was your other loss this season, two losses to Good Counsel. What the first game there was a little bit more scoring. I think it was what 35-28 or something like that.
yeah, 35-28.
What happened in that one?
We actually had them beat. If I'm being honest with you, we had them beat. We held them to like 20 points until like the fourth quarter, and we went down and scored. It was 28-20, and it was like a minute 30, minute 40 left in the game. And they're on the field. Their quarterback throws an interception, which would have been the end of the game, would have went out there and kneeled it, but they called a roughing the passer. It was just a undisciplined mistake from a young player, so we can't really hold that against him. So that was how that game ended, and then we just couldn't really convert in overtime, couldn't keep it going. So
Yeah.
another more mistakes that we all had to work on, but
Right. And that is the big rival, right? I'm not like DeMatha Good Counsel. That's the rivalry of all rivalries, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, like, I mean, over the course of your career at DeMatha, I didn't look back over the last few seasons. But I mean, how did you typically do against those guys year in, year out?
The year before I didn't play because of I had a meniscus tear.
All right.
And the year before that, I wasn't at DeMatha, I was at Wilson.
Oh, okay. That's right. I couldn't remember actually. As I was saying that, I couldn't remember what year you got to DeMatha, but I'd forgotten about that injury during your junior season. Do you feel like that affected your recruitment? Basically because you missed the whole season, right? Or did you
Yeah,
get hurt during the year?
I missed the entire season.
Okay. Do you think that kind of had an impact on college coaches and their pursuit of you?
Yeah, because going into my junior year, my recruitment was pretty, pretty good. I had a lot of Power Five offers going into my junior year, and then all the interest I had kind of came to a sudden stop because I just didn't play. I kind of skipped a year. And junior year, that's the important year. That's when colleges can actually like give you official offers and start talking to you about your future at their schools and all that. So I guess missing that entire season kind of put a giant pause in my recruitment.
Right. Was Pitt involved with you prior to that? Like, had you already been hearing from them even when you were at Wilson, or after you moved to after you went to DeMatha?
Not when I was at Wilson. When I got to the math, I started hearing from them though.
Okay. And who's your I'm assuming Coach Powell is your main contact up there. Coach
Yeah.
Powell, Coach Borbely. I mean, what's your connection like with those guys?
I talk to them all the time. I just finished talking to Narduzzi yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, My main connection right now is Coach Powell, though, because he's the one that recruited me and got me to come down for an OV. Um, but it's mainly Coach Powell, Coach Borbley. I talk to them. I talk to both of them all the time. Uh, yeah, talk to
A-
them. Yeah.
And you said you talked to Coach Narduzzi over the weekend here. What was he just checking in with you? What did he have to say?
Yeah, he was just checking up, just seeing how I was doing, asking me if I was ready to sign this one day.
What when you got up there for that official visit, when did it really click for you that Pitt was the school you wanted to go to?
After I seen the um the coaching staff and how they operated, how the weight room was operated, how the exposure to NFL teams was because they share everything with the Steelers. Um, how how it already felt like a family, and I had just met Coach Borbs and Coach D and Narduzzi for the first time. It was just welcoming. That's just like, okay, this is where I need to. This is where I want to be
Right. Did
because
you
it
get a
felt
chance?
genuine. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, no. Go ahead.
But it just felt it felt genuine and it felt real. It didn't feel like they were just putting on a show to get another big kid to come to their school. So
Nice. What did you get a chance to go up for a game at all this season?
no, I was close, but then something happened and I couldn't go.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you kind of kept an eye on them. Obviously, they didn't have the season they were hoping to. Going 3-9. What were some of the things you noticed as you sort of watched them this year, and what were the coaches telling you as you kept in contact with them throughout the season?
Just a lot of injuries, a lot of injuries. I was asking Coach Borbs and Coach Narduzzi what was going on, and they just said the same thing. Lots of injuries across that O line. A lot of veteran players went down. Matt Goncalves, he had a foot injury. One of their guards tore their ACL during training camp. I think their center had a concussion at one point. So just a lot
Hmm.
of injuries, a lot of
Right.
injuries, and a lot of young players just getting thrown into the fire a little too early. But that'll prepare them for next season when they play the same people. They'll be ready. They'll be more ready, more prepared.
Right. You feel like offensive line is maybe one of the toughest spots to play as a young player.
Most definitely, most definitely. You're going against dudes who are 6, 7 years seniors or 20, 24, 25 years old. Being on the line, you're playing some of the strongest people on the field. So of course it's going to be difficult.
Hmm. What talking about like size, how big are you now? What's your height and weight?
6'7", about like two, not 2'9". I'm like 300. I'm like 305 now.
Oh, okay. Is that where you played at all season, or is that where you were out over the summer? Have you gained a little weight, or
No, over the summer I was like 290. I think the lightest I was like 287. Mid-season I was like 295, and then afterwards I just randomly put on 10 pounds.
and so the pit coaches like you as a tackle, right? Like that's your
Yeah,
spot,
yeah.
all offensive tackle. Okay, good. What do you feel like you do well in the field? What do you feel like are some of your strengths when you're out there?
Run blocking is one of my strengths, when most definitely, and um I feel like I'm a smarter player, and because of my height, I can see over the field and call out blitzes and things that sometimes, especially with my team, sometimes our other players don't see. I'll call that out. But I'm just a real aggressive player,
Right.
real aggressive when it comes to run blocking.
What are you looking forward to most about this next step? You know what I mean? Obviously, you have to finish up at DeMatha in the spring and roll at Pitt in June. What are you looking forward to most about the college football, college life experience?
Just soaking it all up, getting as much as I can, learn as much as I possibly can about football, and just become the best that I can at it.
Hmm. Okay. Great, Mason. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'm glad we could catch up. And, obviously, with signing day coming up, it was nice to chat with you. So thanks for your time and congratulations on everything, on a great career. And I guess we'll see you once you get to Pitt next June, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.